acorns want to be oak trees.
Before the great oak was ever a tree, it was just an acorn that sought to be free. Before it could rise, it had to first fall. So it took a great leap in its quest to grow tall.
Letting go of the branch upon which it once clung, down under the leaves where since birth it had hung, trusting the wind to take it beyond the roots of Mother Oak Tree, the little acorn was whisked and blown past all it could see.
Falling down with all the other acorns, it rolled and rumbled, until at last to the ground in a pile it had tumbled. And when it seemed the acorn would at the bottom be squished, it was pressed out of the side as if from a crack in a dish.
It lay in the same grass it had seen from the tree, only now it was surrounded by a grassy green sea. It could feel the sunbeams of the late autumn sun and see all of the leaves as they rolled about just
too fast!
Oh, what a good time!
Thought the acorn as the leaves bounced about. They were rustic and bright, and the wind made them tussle and shout. But what they did not know was there was no doubt they would soon be collected, bagged, burnt, or dumped out.
As he lay in the grass, he could feel the dew as it covered his chest, and he sleepily watched as the sun set in the west. Watching him from high in the sky was a glowing new moon, who quietly thought, this one will blossom and bloom.
A chill filled the morning air as the squirrels frolicked and played. He'd seen the squirrels often as they lay in the Mother Oak Tree's shade. They came out in the spring and climbed all over the branches and regularly sniffed the little green acorns as they sat on their haunches.
Their noses were warm and tickled with each little sniff. The baby acorns laughed and played along with every whiff. All summer long, the games would go on and on. All the squirrels seemed to watch over them from dusk to dawn.
But as he lay in the grass, the squirrels played a new game. They'd shake each little acorn to see if they rattled the same. And what was that strange sound? Was that a crunch? Were the squirrels actually having his friends over for lunch? Oh no!
Oh no! By late afternoon, it was perfectly clear. The acorns hid in the grass when the squirrels came near. The little acorn tried to sink in the ground at the sound of each crunch, but was grabbed by a squirrel who scooped him up with a bunch.
He thought he was a goner for sure, and that
this is the end!
As the squirrel cracked the shell top off one of his friends. Oh boy! Instead, the squirrel dropped him alone onto the ground and thought, this one will make the best winter meal around.
The furry friend dug a small hole just big enough for Mother Oak's seed, dropped him in, and pushed him past the roots of the grass and the weeds. The squirrel wisely buried the acorn out of sight and out of mind, with the intent to retrieve him when food became harder to find.
Abandoned and all alone in the dark, the acorn was so afraid. Why had he jumped off the tree? He wished instead he had stayed. And why was he buried here, knowing that soon he'd be eaten? What hope was there left? He was done. He'd been beaten.
The months slowly passed, with the seed safe underground. He had not a clue that by Mother Earth he had been found. She held him close and let the rain wash away all of his tears. She let her warmth hold him and quiet his fears.
He no longer felt alone in the dark as new life began, and sprang back to life when spring came back once again. Higher and higher, the seedling pushed until up out of the ground came the first sprig, a leaf, like a bright green golden crown.
The air was so fresh and the sun a delight, and with each shower and rain he seemed to double in height. He was wobbly at first, but then solid and firm. But if he was meant to be tall, he would grow and go firm.
Disregarding the risk, he was heavenly bound. He pushed even higher and taller, above all that surround. Through sunshine and storm, drought, lightning and rain, he withstood the heat, discomfort, snowfall, and pain.
Until one day, he stood with limbs touching the sky. Even birds would look up as they flew quietly by. And children would swing back and forth on a rope and carelessly play, full of life, dreams, and hope.
When travelers sat in the shade of the tree, they gave never a thought of how it came to be. Not so much as a wonder about the days frozen it stood, or the agony of lightning splintering its wood.
Not even a care about it being twisted or torn, or the times by the elements it was treated with scorn. Not as much as a word about it lasting so long, and not even a thought about the stresses that made it so strong.
Some each little acorn that is an oak. Want to be? Think not of the process, but of the tree you will be. For neither bird, wind, or sunbeam shall ask of the trials you had in the dark distant past.
Instead, they'll rejoice that you simply are there.
That in shade they may rest without even a care.
That your branches are limbs under which they will find
comfort, refuge, and a little peace of mind.
Better, good, thank you, that's good. All right, next.